All right, welcome to Eastern
Hello.
Volley Network. My name is Sean Yoder, and I am sitting in for Graham Wren. So this is how this is. My co-hosts are Peyton Brennick and Maddie Brennick. They are two local beach volleyball players here in Virginia Beach, and I'm gonna leave it up to them to kind of introduce themselves. Take it away.
All right. I'm Maddie Brennick. I've been playing beach volleyball for about 6 years, and I've been playing indoor probably around 12 years. We play at the University of Tampa. We're going to be juniors, upcoming juniors this year. I was on the one team this year, and last year I was on the fours.
My name's Peyton Brennick. Pretty much the same thing. I attend the University of Tampa. I'm taking a degree in management, so that's gonna be exciting. And yep, I play beach volleyball. I was in between the ones and twos this year, and it's exciting to kind of talk about this tournament because we've played a lot of the girls and just kind of get to put our input compared to some of the other pros. So we'll see.
That's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah, so let's get into it. So this is the second Pro Tour tournament of the year. Let's see, let me switch that. And it's in Louisiana, so that's really interesting because of the team that won the tournament last time. So the winners from Austin are hometown favorites for this one. That was my pick for last one, even though I didn't do the last video. My pick was they're gonna win it. Coming off of a fresh win too. So the one seed, Betsy, Flint, and Kayleigh Chang, formerly Kelly, I forgot her
Kelly
Class.
Yeah, Clays.
Or Clays.
Clays,
Or
yeah,
Class.
Kelly Clays, sorry. Against Katie Horton and Brooke Bauer. So do you know any of those players?
Yes. So I haven't played against Brooke. She was in the ones this year for Florida State. But I did get input from our ones team who played them. And so we know her partner, Maddie May, too. I don't know too much about Brooke, but I do know that they do split occasionally. And they both have like very good defensive and blocking skills. They were very successful this year. They got second at national championship. Personally, as a team, I think that the defense, like if they do split, I'm not sure how what her and her partner are exactly going to do, but I know there is a weaker side to her defense just because she does split. So her focus is on both, but she's really powerful. She's a very strong arm, which I think will be able to throw teams off a little bit.
I feel like they'll fare against Betsy and Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I do think Betsy and Kelly, with the experience that they have in the pro circuit, it's probably nothing they haven't seen before. So I do feel like they'll be able to handle it better than other teams and against college. But I do know that she's all around like a really good player.
Okay.
Yeah, we think that Betsy and Kelly are probably going to pull out the win. I mean, just overall compared to a first ranked team and a 16th, I mean, you already kind of have a disadvantage there, but definitely I think them being like playing in the pro circuit so much, I think it's just a different level than you can experience in any women's open or college. So I definitely think that they're going to take the first match against them.
Yeah, I would say very, very much the same. That experience just is unrivaled when it comes to that. Anyone can beat anybody. That is really kind of one of the neat things about beach volleyball. But I mean, they're a top 5 World Tour ranked team right now. And they're a new partnership, so there might be some things there. They didn't fare well in the last tournament, so who knows? But I'm pretty sure that that Betsy and Kelly are going to take this one. Type that in 1 second. Next up, we have Katie Spieler and Kim Hildreth versus Jessica Gaffney and Molly Turner. Have you played any of them?
So I actually am not very familiar with either of these teams. We had to just do some digging on them, just kind of to see their record and if they've played together. We said that Molly and Jessica, they have a little bit more experience with each other than the team that they're playing against. So I think that they're probably going to have the upper hand on this one. But there's a lot of new pairings here this tournament, so that can kind of either be a good or bad thing. So I think, sometimes pairs have like this luck partnership that they just tend to work really well together. But I think we said that Gaffney and Turner are probably gonna pull this one out just because of their experience together.
Okay.
But I honestly think this one's kind of like 50-50, not really sure where or who's gonna win this one.
And I actually have been keeping up with Spieler. Like, I do recognize that last name. She has been in the pro circuit a lot. She does play grass, and I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure she had an injury not recently, but she did get an injury in grass. No, maybe not.
No.
I remember I follow on Instagram, so I thought she got an injury in grass, but I do remember her being in the pro circuit, and she does have like a decent record in there. She hasn't really reached the top 3 much, but she does have that experience.
So Gaffney and Turner are the 8, Spieler and Hildreth are the 9. So Gaffney and Turner coming off that win could kind of parlay that into a good win. So I'm inclined to think that, even though Katie and Kim kind of have a little more experience on the pro tour, because they've just been constantly. Katie's been on the tour for a while, but if she's coming off an injury, she might be a little slower, So she's another small defender who can jump and put some pace on the ball. So I honestly think that I think Jessica and Molly are going to take this one as well, but the tiebreaker goes to you.
Yeah, I do have to go with Jessica and Turner, just because with these partnerships, I know chemistry does try and fall. And as talking about the second ranked team, Cloth and us, and them coming this being maybe their second year in the pros and them doing so well, their chemistry is huge. So I do have to maybe put chemistry above experience in the pro circuit.
Yeah, that definitely would be an interesting match to watch, but I'm going to go with Jessica and Molly as well. Next up, we have the 5 versus the 12. So I've been actually following a couple of these players for a while. They actually have been just killing it in the stuff that they've played in. So this is a really interesting match. I'm really excited that Emily Stockman found a bigger blocker once her partnership kind of dissolved. And I was really curious to see where Megan Kraft would land, because she kind of is that rising star of she can hit the ball, she can set, she can dig, she can pretty much do everything. And turning that corner to pick up a really good defender like Emily is awesome to see. And I have them going far just because of the fact that they have so much upside. Their upside potential is just huge. And so the 5 versus the 12 is going to be interesting, because Delaney's big and Lexi's big, if I'm not mistaken. They're both taller players. I think yes. Delaney is 5'11", maybe she's a little taller than that, and Lexi's 6'4". So I don't know. Have you played against either one of them? I know they both played indoor, as well as I think Delaney played beach.
I have not played against Delaney, but I have played against Megan Kraft. And I know when we played her, we served her partner the entire time.
Smart.
Because I just think not only is she a really good hitter, but she's smart with where she puts her spots and her hits, which I think was a lot harder to dig. And she has insane options. So I think that even if they don't serve her, she'll always have some contribution to the play. And honestly, I think options can destroy any team if you're really good at them. So I honestly think that's going to be the main problem with that team, as in they're just going to kind of surprise everyone with the flexibility that Megan Kraft has with the team.
Yeah, that's good.
And Lexi, she was in the ones for UCLA, which they got 3rd this year, and she's just this built player that she was a blocker with Savvy in the UCLA ones last year, and she was the blocker then, and she transitioned to a defender this year. So now she's having both this defense and offense blocking abilities, and she's just an all-around amazing player, and she's extremely athletic. Probably the most athletic person I've seen in the beach volleyball area. Yeah.
It's a bold statement. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
I have
it.
to say. And I don't know if maybe her partnership, she hasn't really like found that one person she clicks with yet, but I think she's and this might be the partnership, I'm not sure, but I do think that she's a really good player. Now against Megan Kraft and them, I do think Megan Kraft and Emily will definitely pull out this one, but I do think that Lexi Dunnenberg and her team will put up a good fight.
If Lexi and Delaney are split blocking, that is going to be really interesting to see. That might be a match to pay attention to because that would be really, really interesting. But yeah, I have Megan and Emily Stockman taking this one. Do you think it's going to go 3? Do you think it's going to happen in 2?
I think it's going to happen in 2, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than we would expect a 5 and 12 ranked team to be.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like the pick. Next up, we have the 13 against the 4. Mackenzie Ponnett and Chelsea Rice against Larissa and Liliani. I don't know if how much y'all know about Mackenzie and Chelsea or how much you know about Larissa and Lily. I've seen Mackenzie play quite a bit with Sheila Shaw over the past couple of years. So an interesting new partnership with Chelsea. Haven't seen Chelsea play all that much. Don't really know a whole lot about her. But based on what I know about the other team that they're playing against, this is going to be a really, really interesting match because Larissa is one of the most decorated Brazilian beach volleyball players in the world. She's a legend. It's strange that she's still playing in her early 40s, I think late 30s. Mm-hmm. She's just killing it. So I think experience is gonna outweigh youthfulness in this regard because they've beaten big name teams still in the most recent tournaments. They've been taking 5ths and 3rds all over the place. So I think this one's going to end in 2 for Larissa and Lily.
I absolutely agree. I didn't know anything about any of these teams, and I did do a little research on Larissa and them, and they do. And I know that in the past they've done extremely well, but not only that, they're continuing to do it. And maybe if they had started seeing a decline in how they were placing, I would maybe consider, but they're still going extremely strong. So I would have to say that they're most definitely probably going to take that set or that game.
Okay. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think they have that relationship connection again that a lot of teams don't have, which I think sometimes can be a bad thing too. But honestly, for as long as they've been playing together, I think you really can't match that kind of connection, and their resume is just insane. So I think they'll take this quickly.
You guys look up Larissa a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I'm wow. Is she kidding on this or is she actually have all this? It's crazy.
Yeah, she's actually that good. She's actually that person. You're like, oh, that Larissa? Oh, it took me a while to figure it out too. When I first saw them, I think it was 2019, I think, or maybe even 2020. And I was like, why do I know that name? Because I've been watching FIVB for a while. And so I was like, that's not the same Larissa. And then I looked up and I was like, yeah, it is. It's for real. She's legit. Yeah, so I definitely see that one. That one, depending on how the Chelsea play, that might go 3, but I don't see it going 3. I think Lily and Larissa take care of business. Next up, we have an interesting one. We have the 3 versus the 14. Zana Muno and Brandy Wilkerson versus Macy Jerger and Abby Van Winkle. All I know is Zana and Brandy have really good chemistry and they've played well together and they've had some big finishes and they're just awesome. Brandy's, she's explosive, she's athletic, she can side out, she can take the ball on 2. And Zana's defense is just incredible. She makes phenomenal leads and she just gets really good touches and she can set really well too. So that's going to be really, really challenging for a younger team in Macy and Abby. So I'm going to take Zana and Brandy in this one in 2.
Yes. We also had we've watched Abby Van Winkle play and with Lexi Dunnenberg and the ones in UCLA, and I think Lexi was definitely probably the stronger all the way around. And I mean, I could tell nerves were maybe a little bit in Van Winkle's playing. So I think that, and Brandy and that team have experience playing in the pros, even though it may not be as much as everyone else does. They have more than Abby does, and I think that's probably going to show. So I have them winning.
Yeah, I think especially in New Orleans with the weather, there's barely any wind, it's hot, it's sunny. I think that if it was in a different location, maybe where there's some more wind, I think that Abby would have a field day with her jump serves, because I know in Gulf Shores when I watched her, she got aces left and right when it was really windy that one of the days. And I think that that's kind of her like go-to, and I think that's like her biggest contribution to her team, like very consistent. But I think in New Orleans it's just not the best place for that serve, especially with no wind. So I think Brandy and her partner are going to win this one.
I agree. It's funny that you bring up the wind. Y'all should go back. You should look back in YouTube and look at the New Orleans final, I think from 2016, the men's final from 2016, 2015 or 2016. It's an interesting match. It's Phil Dahlhauser and Sean Rosenthal, I think, against Casey Patterson and Jake Gibb, or it's Phil and Nick against Rosie and somebody. It was like 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Oh, wow.
And rainy.
Oh,
it was the most wild volleyball match to watch, because you're watching them set a ball that's blowing 6 feet in either direction every single time. And they're making it look like there's no wind. They're playing it as if there's no wind. I was like, I don't get this. This makes zero sense to my brain. I'm like, how are you that athletic that you make it look like there's no wind still?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right.
That's how good they are. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm
Be
gonna go back to
erased.
doing whatever else I was doing and stop at this point, because no,
Yeah.
so silly. Well, so I'm expecting that, because that's what I know. So that might feed into Abby.
Yes.
She's got that kind of a whip from the service line. That might be interesting. She might be able to chop some points up. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Be really curious to see if there's going to be wind and weather, because the last time I saw a New Orleans tournament, it was wind.
I checked the weather beforehand, and I was like trying to decide who I thought was going to win based on if there was any wind. And it doesn't say there is any, but you never know. There could be.
All right.
But I do think that would be a huge game changer if there is any wind.
Okay. All right. I respect it. Doing your All right. Next up, we have the 11 versus the 6. Tony Rodriguez and Sarisimo versus Emily Day and Haley Harward. I am excited about this match. Very excited. Tony Rodriguez is probably one of my favorite up-and-comers right now. I really feel like she's turning a corner. Some of her wins or some of her tournaments on the FIVB have been awesome. She's a beast. She's just such a physical player. And Savvy is also just physical. She's springy and she can hit the ball real well. But of course, you also have Emily Day and Haley Harward on the other side of the net. Haley, I haven't really seen her all that much, but I definitely know that M Day is obviously M Day, so she wouldn't take a chance on somebody that she didn't feel like was going to do well. So,
oh yeah,
this one I'm not entirely sure about. I want to say, just because Tony's such a good player, I want to say that her and Savvy are going to steal this one, but more than likely experience is going to outweigh that one in this regard. So
yes. So actually, we did watch Haley play. We actually, our ones pair played against them, and we were able to watch them. She's also played with an Olympian, Tina Gradina, and I think that kind of, she has that experience with that high level. They had an amazing season this year for USC. They just blew everyone away. I think that Haley is on, I would say, the shorter side compared to the rest of the competitors, but she is an insane vertical and she can hit the ball so hard. I think she just kind of has everything. She has a lot of power. She has shots. She's crazy on defense. I think the only thing that could hold them back would be connection. I'm not sure how they're going to do together because sometimes two really good players might not play so well together. So I think that we'll have to see. I think this is going to be a close match. We said that Day and Harward would win, but I'm not sure. I think it's honestly going to be neck and neck with them.
Yeah, I think it's going to go 3, and I think Tony and Savvy are going to steal it.
Yeah, they're both really good teams, and I don't even know.
You're the tiebreaker, Maddie.
All right. I might have to flip to Tony. I would have to say Tony and Sumo, just because they have played together, and I know both of them. I don't know much about Tony, but I do know Sumo is very athletic and she goes after everything. And I think they have played together and the results have been pretty good. So I would have to go to them.
They have a lot of I think chemistry. Because I mean they just have played so many different tournaments together. So all right, sending M Day to the contenders bracket early. Interesting. Next up we have the 7 versus the 10, Team Squiggle, as I'm endearingly calling them from now on, against Carolina Marciniak and Megan Rice. I've seen Megan Rice play, and I've just been impressed by every step of the way that she's taken in her path. Carolina is hit or miss. She's been like on sometimes, off sometimes in tournament or playing. Some years she's playing, some years she's not. So I'm not really sure really how that's going to fare. That's a really hard matchup to have as your first match. But you have to remember Corinne and Sarah are coming off of jet lag. So they might end up, I don't know how this is going to play out. So this might just be a forfeit match, depending on if they get there in time. Really don't know what this is going to be, even though it's going to be at 6:30 p.m. So they should make it fine. I don't think they'll have any issues getting there, but they might be jet lagged. So I can see Kaya and Megan stealing this one. And if they do, they'll probably steal it in 3.
Yep, I definitely agree that this is going to be another close one. I'm not really sure. I said Quiggle or Squiggle, as you want to say it. I have them as pulling out the win, just because they have strictly more pro experience. I think just having like the partnership together. But then again, like you never know with getting off the plane late and what's going to happen with that. So
I also have to agree that I think they're going to come out. Quiggle is going to come out and win this. Watching Megan Rice play, I think she's a phenomenal player. Like the amount of like precision she puts, like her block is insane. And I know she gives 100% like pressing, and she can take away the court really well. I don't know much about her partner. So I think I would have to give it to Quiggle on that set. But I do think now not knowing about her partner does leave it open for them to surprise me and come out and take the set.
Okay. So Team Squiggle.
Yep.
All right. And the last match in the winners bracket, Kayleigh York and Megan Gebhardt versus Taran Cloth and Kristen Nuss, the 2 seed. Last year they were a qualifier team. Last year they were a qualifier team.
That's crazy.
It's wild. They've already won 2 AVP events. They've already beaten several different Olympians. And I mean, the beating Melissa Humana Paredes and why can't I remember her partner's name? Sarah Pavitt. That's right. Wow, that's weird. That to me is a huge win. That is not just a regular AVP win. That's a World Tour win, because they are World Tour champs. They are Olympians. I mean, they're just an all around sometimes unbeatable team, and that win is huge. So I have them going the whole way through this. I have them winning the
Yeah,
tournament. again.
that's what we
That's
have.
exactly what we have.
Hometown
We have
Eagles.
taken it home.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. This one's kind of wide open for them, I think, but there's a lot of people they have to get through. But I think they beat Kayleigh and Megan fairly easily.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know if you know Kayleigh or Megan well, or if you have an insight on them.
no, I do not. Honestly, I think that Cloth and Nest have just so many advantages than any other team. I mean, this is their home, like this is their area where they went to school, and it's just like everything is kind of relying on this. So I think that we immediately thought that they were going to win the whole entire thing. And they've placed high on tournaments that a lot of these teams have already played in. So they've kind of already faced a lot of this competition. So
We got about 3 minutes before we have to start this again because didn't do this right. But we're gonna run through the rest of the winners bracket, and then we'll hit the contenders bracket and get into the crossover.
Okay.
We're just gonna go right back up to the list. So we're gonna go TKN versus Team Squiggle. That would be the 7 seed versus the 2 seed. I also have them winning this one. I have them winning this one. 2. I don't see Corinne and Sarah really giving them much trouble, even though they have given them trouble in the past. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, we agree. We just think it's going to be a sweep for them to make it into the next round.
Same for you, Maddie?
Yes.
Next up, we have Zana Muno and Brandy Wilkerson versus Tony Rodriguez and Sarisimo. This is a really, really interesting one because Zana and Tony have played together before. So I'm not certain on this one, but I'm pretty sure Zana and Brandy are going to win this one.
Okay. Yeah. That's we think the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched Brandy play, and I think, and both of them too, but I definitely think that Wilkerson and them will definitely pull out the win.
So no real upset there, I believe.
No.
3 versus the 11. Yeah. So now we have Megan Kraft and Emily Stockman versus Lily and Larissa. This one's also another nail biter. I have Megan and Emily winning this one. But again, this one could go either way depending on the new partnership that they have. So
yeah, this is a hard one. We had the other team winning just because, I mean, it really depends on how they play, because you're talking like kind of older volleyball with the new volleyball. You don't know how their matchup is going to be. But I think, honestly, I'm not even sure about this one. I think it's going to be a really close match.
We'll come back to that. Let me jump off, and then I'll jump right back on.
Okay.
Get back into that match. Give me 1 second.